Normally we'd say morning.
Afternoon.
But it's thrown my day out as this. I don't like change much. And it's 12, well, it's just gone 12 o'clock lunchtime, and we haven't set off yet. We've got a 3-hour journey to do, which is, well, according to the book, 3 hours. So for us, about 5 hours.
So it's going to be dark when we get there.
So it's going to be dark when we get. But we've got to go today because we've run out of water, and we need to get to a water point, which is 3 hours away, according to the book. We are still at Engine Lock, which is where we left you last time. It's called Engine Lock because there used to be a big pumping engine.
Did there?
And it used to pump water out of the mine workings at Coxhead's Colliery. I were expecting a laugh then. No?
I can't because I'll cough.
All right. There we go.
There we go.
We're going from Engine Lock to Hazelhurst Junction.
Yes.
Now that's where the Caldon carries on towards Frogall, but the Leek Branch comes off, like on the right hand side I think it is, and goes over the canal that goes down to Frogall. That's where we're going today, hopefully. We've got an Amazon parcel to pick up on the way.
Yes.
And we need to get some water and get rid of the rubbish. Also, on our left hand side, just in that field there, you can see a little stream kind of threading its way through the fields. Can you guess where it is?
No.
It's the River Trent.
Really?
The River Trent, and it starts a couple of miles north of here at Biddulph Moor.
If you'd have said river, I'd have guessed River Trent.
There you go, and it's starting its 170-mile trip towards the Humber and out into the North Sea.
Wow.
But it just looks so little and not scary, doesn't it, in that field?
Yes, it does, yes. It does get bigger.
Right, Sean needs to cough.
I do.
So we're going to get off. Are you coming with us? Grab your windlass and you'll need something warm as well.
Come on!
Lock number 4, Engine Lock. It's quite a deep one, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Just over 12 foot deep, which is one of the deepest on this section anyway. Back in the 1960s, the Caldon fell into disrepair like a lot of other canals did, to be honest. And parts of it were filled in and it wasn't getting looked after, and it wasn't navigable for quite a few years. But then in the 70s, they started doing it up again, and the year after I was born, 1992, all right, knock 20 years off that. Sir Frank Price lowered the new top gate onto Engine Lock, and the year after that, this part of the Caldon reopened. Yay! Three reservoirs feed the Caldon Branch of the Trent and Mersey, and Knipersley Reservoir is one of them. It's about 3 miles that way towards those dark clouds that are heading this way. And the arm itself used to be navigable. You used to be able to get to the basins at Coxhead's Colliery and also Cope's Iron Foundry. They're long since gone, but I wouldn't mind jumping in the kayak and having a paddle up there and seeing how far I get. I bet I don't get the 3 miles to the reservoir though.
Probably not.
That is bridge 22, and just by the bridge there's a tube, like a pipe that goes under the canal carrying a stream.
A culvert?
Yeah, and it's the River Trent again.
Oh wow.
As it passes under the canal, 5 cubic feet of water per second pass through it.
Wow, that's not a lot,
That's
is it?
not a lot, is it? By the time it reaches the Humber, at its last measurable point, 4,000 square feet of water passes through there a second. A second.
That's a lot.
That'd fill our water tank a few times.
Just a few.
This is bridge 23. It's called Long Butts lift bridge. Now the last couple of lift bridges we've had have been electronically operated, which are easy because all you need is the key and you press a button. This is a bit different. It's old school. We've got to use the windlass. Do you want to try and count how many turns it takes? Now normally, I like to go around a corner and find a few builders and workmen, but not when we're trying to get somewhere. This is not in the stoppages, the canal's not closed, but we've come round a corner and there's half a dozen workmen. It looks like they're fixing the, I don't know, what do we call it? The Canal and River Trust are using the quiet time over the winter to dredge the canals. And they're strengthening the offside banking here by adding these wooden posts, some heavy duty sheeting and using some of the dredged silts to replace soil that's been washed into the canal over the years. If the canal's not dredged, that silt builds up over time and it means that boats can't move around freely on the canal. It also affects the quality of the water. I'll tell you what though, on a cold damp day like today, it's nice to see a few hunky contractors working hard. This is Stockton Brook Bottom Lock. It's the first of 5 locks which are going to take us up to the summit of the canal. It's also where Otis decided to take a dip in the canal, and whenever Otis gets wet, he gets the zoomies. By lock 6 and 7, there's these really nice ceramic sculptures. They were designed by artist Anthony Licicea. He did some similar works by the Hatton locks on the Grand Union Canal and also at Trevor on the Llangollen Canal. Also by lock 7 is the old Notties Stoke to Leek railway line. As you can see, it's been disused for quite a while, over 20 years actually, but there's talk about restoring it, and if they did, it would mean trains could get from Stoke to Alton Towers theme park, which isn't too far from here. That was the Stockton Brook locks, 5 locks, and it raises us to the summit of the Caldon Branch of the Trent and Mersey, 485 feet above the River Thames.
Wow.
How many locks is that? About 48? I don't know.
One big deep one.
We've done more than 48 locks.
I think we have.
The old Victorian water pump house at the bottom, it looks a bit sad, doesn't it? A bit derelict. And it is a bit derelict. It's been derelict for years. The Staffordshire Potteries Water Company built it back in the late 1800s to get water out from the ground, not for the canal, funnily enough. It was,
really?
Yeah, it was for towns around up to about as far as Kidsgrove and Tunstall. And they've been meaning to redevelop it for like 10 years, but no's happened of it yet. There's a couple of houses been done up nearby, but the main building itself, it's just a waste, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Speaking of waste, excuse me. The old barges are bumping together when we pass them.
You're going too fast. Thunder.
You're going too fast, man. Slow down. What do you mean you're in tick over? Oh, we're just coming up to Bridge 27, and right in the middle of the canal is like a roundabout. I don't know how we're going to get round it. We haven't even got indicators. Do you think we have to flash as port light?
There's a roundabout in Birmingham as well.
There is, but this is a different one. It isn't actually a roundabout. It used to be a swing bridge for a light railway.
Ah, right, yeah.
And the light railway used to link to that disused one that I've just shown you above Stockton Brook locks, which used to be the Stoke to Leek railway line. I reckon, with a bit of permission from the CRT, we could turn it into like the perfect ice cream booth. Put 2 windows in it, one on each side, and then boats can come on each side. All you need is
Fantastic.
a Mr. Whipping machine,
Yeah.
some ice lollies and stuff like that. I'll tell you what I used to like, Funny Feet. Do you remember Funny Feet?
Yeah.
And Mini Milks.
Yes.
Mini Milks.
I used to love them.
That little branch that comes off, that Sean nearly went straight down and crashed into the Stoke-on-Trent Boat Club sign,
No, I didn't.
is permanent moorings that belong to Stoke-on-Trent Boat Club. But back in the 19th century, it used to be a transhipment place. Now, transhipment means that boats and trams or boats and trains come together and the cargo is moved from one to the other. So they used them in places where they couldn't get the canals, like over hills if tunnels haven't been built yet. So the boats would get to a certain point and then it would be transferred to a horse or a tram or a train, taken over and put on a boat at the other side. Now here, it's quite interesting because do you remember the story about Bugsworth Basin and the limestone coming down from the quarries in the Peak District?
Yes.
Well, this one at Endon Basin used to be the same thing from the Peak District. They used to bring the limestone down from the Peak District, but on this side, and then the trains and trams. That sounded like that German comedian, didn't it?
Yes.
The trains would come down from the Peak District and they'd come over the canal on stilts. And they'd drop the limestone from the wagons down some chutes, I like a good chute, into the narrowboats, and then it'd be taken off and transported all over the country and all over the world.
Wow. It's a bit chilly.
For the first time, we've got a little warning light on the camera display which says that the temperature's too low to operate normally. I think that says it all about us really, doesn't it?
There's nothing normal about us.
It's too cold to operate normally. We're still here. This is 2 days later since you saw us moor up here. And 2 or 3 people recommended this mooring, and it's beautiful. We've got sheeps and hills on one side. Yes, sheeps, not sheep. And on the other side, the rest of the Caldon Canal going down towards Froghall, and then just the valley, like Sean says. Sorry, I'm repeating you. It is a really nice place. The internet's all right. There's no TV signal. It's the first time in 19 months that we've had no TV signal.
None.
At all. And the towpath, after 2 days of rain, which is why we've been here, is like that deep in mud. We've had to literally carry Otis off the boat
to a field, to
a piece of grass there so he can have a wee, and then a field over there where he can do his business and we can pick it up. Now it's actually not far, so that we're going to head off today and try and find a better mooring where Otis isn't fighting through mud to have a wee. The Leek Branch is only a couple of 3 miles long, so we're going to go down to the end of the Leek Branch today. Well, the end of where it is now. Turn round and find a better mooring. And then the weather, as you can tell, isn't perfect yet, and we're going to stay here because it's going to rain for another 2 days. Well, it's actually going to snow today, isn't it?
Supposed to be.
In the forecast.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
just after Bridge 3, over there behind us, is the Hazelhurst aqueduct, and that's where the Leek Branch goes over the main line of the Caldon Branch. So essentially this is the Leek Branch of the Caldon Branch of the Trent and Mersey Canal.
Is it?
It is. Anyway, the aqueduct does look a lot nicer from the other canal underneath than it does from the bit we went over.
It does.
Well, we'll show you that next time, if we go under it.
If.
I've got a feeling it's going to be a really cold winter, don't you?
I have, yeah.
Any excuse to wear my bobble hat, really. I don't mind.
I ain't got a bubble.
And I like my muff round my neck like this. It makes me feel cosy. Does this canal not remind you of anywhere?
Yes.
What does it remind you of?
It reminds me of the Peak Forest.
That's exactly what I were going to say. And do you know the reason why it reminds us of the Peak Forest? Well, we're actually not far away from the Peak Districts.
We're on the edge of the Peak District, really.
Yeah, and even though the Peak Forest Canal itself is quite a few miles kind of northeastish to where we are now, we're on the southern part of it. And originally, when the Trent and Mersey Canal Company were bidding to get this branch dug towards Leek, the Peak Forest Canal people wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to continue their canal from Marple down to Bugsworth Basin and then down to Leek across the Peak District, and then join it from Leek onto the Caldon Branch of the Trent and Mersey. But the Trent and Mersey Canal Company weren't having none of it, and they went to Parliament and they won eventually, and they got the rights to dig the canal through to Leek. It just meant that the branch between Leek and Whaley Bridge was never dug, and that's a pity, really.
It is a shame, really, yeah.
Because we could have got a quick escape up there, couldn't we?
Could have done, yeah.
When the builders got to this point, they realised they were going to have to build a tunnel or take a really long diversion and some locks. So this is where they dug Leek Tunnel. It's only 130 yards long, but you've got this really nice pond that opens out just before it, and some lovely moorings just before the tunnel entrance. And this is as far as we can get. If we carry on, there's a 45-foot winding hole, which we'll not get a 57-foot boat through.
No.
Apparently 45-foot boats have trouble turning in that winding hole. But it originally used to go around this corner, a little bit further down, an aqueduct over the River Churnet, which is still there. Not the river, the aqueduct. Of course, the river's still there.
I was going to say.
The aqueduct is still there, but there's no water in it. And then after that, it's just, the old canal bed's just buried under industrial estates and stuff like that, which is not nice.
No.
Because I'm sure the people of Leek would like a canal running through the town again. It's like touristy, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have thought so.
And it does towns a lot of good to have canals running through them, so I think they might be planning or wanting to redo it.
Oh, really?
They're going to have to knock a few hundred buildings down. But that's as far as we're going today. The dark clouds are coming, and there's some sleet and snow forecast, and it's very cold. It's struggling to get above freezing. So the stove is on. as you can see, we're a little bit chilly. We're going to go back inside and defrost my lips a little bit.
Yes.
I hope you've enjoyed your little journey with us today. If you have, and you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up for us, and if you hit the notifications bell, YouTube will let you know every time we release a new vlog, which is every Friday at 4 o'clock. People message at like 3 o'clock on a Thursday morning.
Where is it?
And say, are you releasing a vlog this week? It's like, huh?
Wake up, people!
If you want to help support the channel, you can join as a YouTube member. There's a link on our homepage, or you can do it via Patreon. As long as you're not watching on a TV, there should be a link up above Sean's head.
Somewhere up there.
Right now, there you go. Join us next time, and we're going to head back towards Hazelhurst Junction and down towards Frogall. See you later, bye-bye.
Ta-da!
We'll keep forgetting who's Gert and who's Maud.
You're Gert.
I'm Gert. No, you're Gert. I'm Maud. I'm sure I'm Maud.
I can't remember.
I've got like a Maud haircut, don't you think? Lean in. Oh dear. Cough, cough, cough. Shall we try that again? Without standing on Otis. At Coxhead Colliery. You see, I can't even say it.
No, you can't, can you?
I'm trying to say it without sounding rude. And it's called Long Butts Lift Bridge, is it though? There were no way I was narrating through all them blocks.
No.
We're ill men.
Ill.
Oh. Should put flour in your mouth when you do that, shouldn't we?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. We're going to do that again because I did sound a little bit confused. When sheep.
God, I'm boiling.
A bit of white fluff on you. There you go. Bogey check.
Yeah.
Are we all right?
Aye.
You got something on your cheek there. We got a little warning light on my. Yeah. Sean's constipating. It's the Hazelhurst aqueduct. That's a posh aqueduct, is that? God bless muffs. Keep me warm like this.